Welcome to the Lee Michael Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server. They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
Yes, it is.
The Lee Michael Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
And welcome to the show. We are live from Los Angeles on the 25th day of May, 2017. 3 days away from the birthday of yours truly. And I typically don't celebrate birthdays, but I might celebrate this one a little bit because I'm just happy to be alive. Does that make sense to you? It makes sense to me. So many of our friends and loved ones are no longer with us. So I'm going to celebrate life the way it should be. I'm doing Periscope this morning. I normally don't fool around with this thing, but I'm going to give it a shot. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Well, let's give it a little play on the Periscope today. Well, there's a little rhyme there, wasn't it? Let's give it a little play today on Periscope today. All right, let's see if that works. Welcome to the show. Carol's not here today. She's out on assignment. She's doing the wig thing, messing somebody's wig up. But I got my kick in the side. Chris Bass in the place. What's up?
Boom, shakalaka.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Man, how you doing, sir? How's everything?
I'm great, man. I got my big coffee mug that says, "It's all good."
Right.
Right? And everything I
Nice.
put in it is good. Got me a nice shot of decaffeinated coffee with a Italian sweet cream. And that's about all the sugar that I'm doing nowadays.
Hey, no, be careful of that sugar, man.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all good.
It come up with a diabetes.
Oh, diabetes.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
No.
As you know, back in the day, when you're somebody, your grandmother or somebody had it, baby, I got the sugar.
Got the sugar. Yeah, I remember those days quite well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So what's shaking and baking, man? What's going down?
I can't call you the man with the plan, man. 3 days, you'll be a year older, man, and walking the earth.
I hope so. You think so?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, your mouth to God's ears.
Well, take that back. I don't know if God's listening. Him again? Oh, no.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
I'm going to call my own name, Lord.
Lord. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good,
That's great.
Yeah, life is good. I could complain, but I'm not. Because complaining, sometimes complaining helps. It gets you noticed. It brings attention to the problem.
True.
But we all know what the problem is. We got a jackass president.
Don't get me started with that.
And we know that. We know because we got him. It ain't like, well, maybe he might be. No, it's certified. USDA.
Yeah, certified nut.
Yes, indeed. Now, what about this other nutball whack job up in Minnesota? that assaulted the reporter. What is that all about?
Oh yeah, Montana Republican Greg Gianforte
Yeah.
was having a press conference, and he goes after reporter Ben Jacobs, body slams him.
Damn.
You know, screaming out, "I'm sick and tired of you guys," and the guy just asked him a question, and now he is charged with misdemeanor assault.
Well, it should be a felony, damn it.
Yes, it should be.
You know, come on. Listen, here's the problem. Trump started this crap. He started it. He made the media an ugly thing. Okay? He said it was fake. It's not credible.
Right.
It's evil. It's spewing nasty stuff. So all of his weak-minded, pea-brain, IQ 2 points below plant life fellow Republicans say, hey, if he can get away with it, so can I.
That's right.
They're not credible. I can smack him upside the head and get away with it. Wrong. And he's lucky he smacked that reporter, because if he smacked me, boy, it'd be a throwdown. I'd whip his ass.
I know that. My money's on you.
You better bet on me, because I'm gonna kick his royal ass.
Ace.
That's right. No, not ace. Ass. All of it. It'll be a felony against me. I bet you.
Right.
But if he tried to body slam me, it's gonna be on. I'm polishing up my knuckles right now as we speak. I'd have to defend myself. Period.
And as well you should.
That's
you're right.
That's right. That's crazy.
That's a lot of ass to kick, too.
Well, you know, he's about my age, so I think I can handle him.
I know you can.
Yeah. Well, I don't want
to. You pretty scrappy. You pretty wiry.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know me. Yeah, you know
I know how
me.
you roll, man. Yeah, that's right.
But see, here's the thing, though.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, I'm going to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
I want to get this out the way. In the chat room, speaking of a lot of ass, Laura Rice wants you to show love for the Full Body Frequency program.
Show love?
Yeah, for the Full Body Frequency program. She's on the chat there, so speaking of a lot of ass, you might as well go and do that now. Get out the way.
See, you're instigating troublemaking fool.
I learned from you, man.
Why you want to get me all tangled up in this mess?
I learned from the best, man. I learned from you.
All right, folks, listen. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right after the Lee Michaels Show at noon Pacific, it's called Full Body Frequency, hosted by Laura Rice, who is a troll in our chat room every day. She causes hate and discontent, always stirring up some mess because she's in love with Chris Bates. Now, what more can I say?
She should change the name of the show to Full Body Malcontent. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's all love, folks. We love Laura Rice.
It is.
Every inch of her, from head to toe.
That's a lot of love, man.
A lot of
love.
Led Zeppelin. A whole lot of love. Yes, indeedy. No, but on the real, she's got a very good show. It's all about the plus size world.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, so if you're a biggin, you better check it out, because that's what it's all about. It's about the big world.
What if you're not a biggin? Do you still tune in, or do you?
Well, yeah, you can, because there's some content in there. It's not all leaning
for
towards
biggins.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the big girls need love too.
They always do.
And I love them all. Big, tall, small. Cross-eyed, big toe, whatever.
Nice.
I love them all. All the girlies. Today is Brothers' Day. I got sucked into it.
I caught that, yeah.
These chain letters that go around. But I thought, it kind of touched my heart, because I do love my brothers. I love the sisters as well. But I love my brothers, so I sent it out. I said send it out to about 12 people. I probably did about 20. You know me, I got to overdo it. Even some people that I don't think is so much of a brother, I'm going to give them some brotherly love today.
Well, that's nice of you.
James Alexander. Now, there's my other radio dog. Hey, man, I heard you've been a little under the weather, and I hope you're doing fine. That's right, Lee Baby Michaels. It's Jimmy Wonder. I know you. You don't have to give me the code name. I know you. And
Is
I
this
love
the same James? I'm sorry, this same James Alexander was at GCI at one point?
That's right.
All right, WGCI. I remember him, yes.
Yep. He did BMX as well.
No, I didn't know that.
He did them all. He's just like me, man. You know, we do them all.
Oh, yeah, Road Dogs.
That's right. That's right. So he was a king up there in Detroit for a long time. Clearly, Lee Michaels has no love for Laura Rice and Full Body Frequency. Are you crazy?
See what I mean? Like,
See, you have lost all the mind that you got left.
Yeah.
I happen to be the executive producer of the show, so I think I got some love for it, okay? Come on.
I would say so.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a lot of love.
An unhappy birthday to you, Lee Michaels, and a foot in your a foot in Chris's bass's butt. Oh, damn.
Oh, see there. See,
She must have had her Wheaties today because she's feeling something. She's just got that mean streak in her today. But that's all right. I know it's all love.
No.
I know it's love.
I don't know about that one.
I know it's love. I know love when I see it.
All right.
He said, all right. All right, well, whatever you say, boss. Whatever.
You love it. I like it.
Right? No, but you got to check out her show. It's called Full Body Frequency. It runs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and sometimes on Saturday and Sunday. You just got to check the schedule on thepowerofvoices.com.
Now, see, here you are showing love to her. Go back to the chat room. She's calling you out, man. See, I don't like that. Let me talk to Miss Rice.
No. Don't start no war first thing in the morning.
I'm not
just
starting a war.
Be nice. Be nice.
I'm
nice.
nice.
You know the girl, she's special. You know, she been touched.
Yeah. What my grandma used to say, that baby, she's touched. A little touch in the head.
Yeah, she been touched, so we're gonna give her a pass.
Okay.
Yeah, be nice.
Be
baby. Nice. This National Be Nice to Laura Rice Day on top of Brothers Day.
All right.
You got it?
I'm being nice.
Okay, be nice.
All right.
I'm gonna stop my broadcast on Periscope for a second because I don't think I have this exactly right. So I'm gonna restart this puppy. Let's see.
Oh, on a side note, I'm getting like a slight feedback. I don't know if the board was been messed with, you know, the different programs and stuff like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
You still hear it?
Hello. No, it's gone now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry about that. Didn't mean to give you that echo.
No, it's okay.
I know that's kind of hard to deal with. It's like talking to yourself.
Yeah, everything's gravy, baby.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm trying to figure this thing out here because what I'm doing is I'm streaming on Periscope from the master computer, and I'm trying to see, where is that? Hold on, let me back up here. I'm doing something wrong. Of course. No, that's the wrong button. You know, Periscope, to me, the app, maybe, I don't use it that often, so it's probably my stupidity. But I'm looking for, there's a special area you go into when you're going to use a third-party streaming software, which I'm trying to do, that allows you to connect that way. Let's see, go live.
Well, you're a good one. I had to stop using Periscope.
Really?
Yeah, because I have French people cussing me out.
French people?
Yeah, French people. Mostly the French.
Why?
No offense to anybody who comes from France, but your people went after me when I was back at UBM.
Why?
And I was doing Facebook Live, and I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess I was eating too much butter or something. I don't know. They came after me. I know all kinds of French fat bastards or whatever they're calling me, man. I'm like, this don't make any sense.
Were they cussing
we
out?
have the one love.
Were they cussing you out in French?
Some did, and some, I guess, didn't get the message. They started cussing me out in English. Then I got it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, no, we can't have this anymore. No, thank you.
Wow.
French bastards.
Wow. I mean, come on, man. You're going to get me all upset now. Stop eating French fries and French toast.
No, I'll still eat that. I'm just saying, it just got to a point. It just got to a point where, it was not, I didn't do anything. It was just evil French people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow. French attack.
Yeah, man.
That's not nice.
Now I'm sorry, the echo's back again, so I don't know where that's coming from, but I could deal with it.
I didn't touch nothing.
Oh, I know it's not you. I'm telling you, look.
Touch a thing.
You got enough on your hands already, so.
Yeah, I got my cell phone in my hands. That's about all I can handle.
For the time being.
Broadcast, create external encoder. No, we're not doing 360. I've already created the damn thing. So fix errors in preview. Okay. Why is it doing that? All right. Well, we're going to continue on with the show.
Well, let me say this also real quick about Mr. Alexander. And this has been years ago, eons ago.
Right.
When I was a student at Columbia College Chicago, I reached out to him. He was program director at GCI, I believe, at the time. And I wanted to meet with him. And that was like early in the week. I called from, I was working at the college radio station. I gave him a call, and we were going to meet. But unfortunately, by the time I got there later on that week, he was not there. And I just want to, even though it's been years ago, Mr. Alexander, thank you for even saying yes to meet with me. That meant a lot to me.
Well, yeah, he's a great guy. He's a real radio guy, compassionate, and it's a damn shame that he's not still in the game, but he's done a lot of good in the business, helped a lot of people, and he's from the real side of radio. He's a guy that coined the phrase "strong songs," and I used it at WBMX in Chicago for a while because I was hoping he wouldn't come in there with against me at GCI with that strong song bullshit. I said, okay, I better block this one. So thank you, James. We went strong songs in Chicago on WBMX as well.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, he spoke about a good 10 minutes, and I was he didn't know me from Adams off Ox, but I told him who I was. I was a radio student. I was currently working at the radio station, and I wanted to pick his brain and see if I could do some stuff there. And just the fact on us talking for that brief time, and for him to say, okay, tell you what, we'll make a day, come down here in 2 days, and we'll knock it out and everything else. And just the fact he said that to me, that was the world. Yeah. So I never got a chance to thank him, but Mr. Alexander, you're listening, thank you. I mean, I know we never got a chance to meet, but thank you just for saying yes.
There you go. See, it's the little things in life that mean a lot to people, especially when you're trying to get in the game, no matter what game that is. And those are the things that are memorable. You remember those things forevermore.
Absolutely.
So, good stuff. And there's Heart Attack in there. He said James is one of his best friends. See? James, you got nothing but love out there. Okay, I figured out the damn Periscope thing, so.
Well, what's happening?
I don't use it often enough, and I forgot the steps. But I got it streaming now. It's what you see on Facebook, you can also see on Periscope. If you go in there and if you want to see it on Periscope, and search iRadio Coach. I'm putting it on my iRadio Coach Periscope page. Or you may be able to search it by Lee Michaels. I'm not sure. But Periscope and Instagram, I don't use that often. And I probably should, because they're very popular. There's a lot of people out there. But
true.
I don't know. I'm just not into that little bitty cell phone broadcast thing. But now that I can stream what you see right now onto Periscope, it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean?
because I don't want to have.
Lee, be careful. I just want you to be careful because I don't want you to get cussed out. If you can start getting cussed out by certain French people, I've already warned you.
Okay. Thank you for the warning.
Right.
See, but I speak a little French, so I can tag with them. So it's all good. So bring it on. Bring on your French toast.
Yeah, I speak French too, but I didn't get any response from Menage a Trois, nothing like that, so nobody responded.
They were scared.
Like, ooh, look at that big fucker right there.
That's right. That's right. They were scared. But anyway,
ooh, he's a big one.
So where's your president now? What is he back in the U.S. or he's still floating around being pimp daddy?
Yeah, I believe he's still floating around. This story we talked about before about the Montana representative, Republican Greg Gianforte. 4 papers already rescinded endorsements. They used to endorse them. Now they rescind their endorsements already.
Good. They should.
3 of them were the Billings Gazette, the Missoulian, and the Independent Record have all pulled away from him.
That's a smart move on their behalf because you don't want to endorse that kind of negative behavior when you out in the public. You're a public figure. You're running for an office, and you want to turn violent and physical against a reporter. That means that you have no control of your own wit. Your own self-control is gone. You don't have any. No matter what a reporter says or does to you, you need to resist. You need to stay focused. You need to be presidential. You need to be a congressional member with outstanding regard. Listen, reporters are supposed to ask tough questions. Now, if your punk ass can't handle it, you shouldn't be in the public eye.
I agree.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's just that simple. If you don't have the control, intellect, patience, understanding, will to deal with tough questions, bye-bye. Go away because you should not be a politician. The media, the press, is supposed to be there to ask those questions. They represent us as you should be as well. So if you don't have any respect for the media, you don't have any respect for me. And there lies a serious problem with any politician that shows any kind of contempt or disrespect against the media, because that means you don't give a shit about me. And you know what? I don't care about you either. You need to go. So your behavior is unacceptable. Now, is he running for a state position or is this a federal position? This is a state position, right?
Yeah. I think he's running for the House because House Speaker Paul Ryan came forward and said that Gianforte should apologize.
Apologize?
Yeah, he should apologize.
He should walk away from running for this position. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
His public presence and what he did was inappropriate, and he is not qualified to hold a congressional office, whether it's state or federal. You can't even be a dog catcher as far as I'm concerned. Period. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
If you don't have any self-control to control yourself in a public forum and a reporter is asking you tough questions, I don't care how many times they ask you that question. You need to find a way of dealing with that situation, which only tells us that you are not ready to hold a public office. Period. Period. You're not qualified. You don't have it. You don't get it. And you shouldn't get it. You shouldn't get that position. So bye-bye. We accept your resignation. Pull out of the race. Bye-bye. Go away.
Yeah, Gianforte, he's running for a special election to fill an open House seat in Montana. So that's what it's all about.
See, those cowboys up there in Montana think they can get away with that bovine. And they've been empowered by 45. I'm not talking about Colt 45. He probably has one of those as well. Up there in Montana.
Montana.
Y'all be in Montana. And we don't play around up here. We'll knock you down and body slam you.
That's right.
If you try to get up, we're gonna put a 45 in you. See that mindset is just that's just wrong. I'm making fun of it, but on the real, that's unacceptable.
Well, when you have someone like 45 who puts out all this rhetoric, for example, the liberal media and the press. For example, Gianforte blames liberal media for this. You can't. How and what kind of, like you said before about having IQ, above plant life, go there.
This is below plant life.
Below, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I gave him too much credit. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
So when you're dealing with that type of mindset, you can, once again, what's the word? Unfit.
Unfit.
See, 45 always put the rhetoric out there about us versus them.
Right.
Now, when you put that out there with certain people, some people get riled up. Yeah, you're right. It's us versus them. And they probably have a bully mentality to begin with, like this Gianforte guy.
Yeah.
So all he's doing is getting the charge from his leader, quote unquote.
Period.
And so saying, you know what? Any liberal media or any media out there is liberal. They're against me. They're against our president. So I have to act out this way because I'm, as he said, a direct quote, I'm sick and tired of you guys.
Right.
The man's he's an idiot.
See, when you have been empowered by monopoly, they have a monopoly on our government right now. So they're untouchable. The House, the Senate, the president, so the executive and the legislative and the judicial system is all controlled by one party in this country. That, my friend, is not a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea if they were all Democrats, because the Democrats have issues too, and they'll let power go to their heads.
That's
all
right.
politicians. So I look at it this way. Let's have some balance with some basic common freaking sense on the House, on the Republican side and the Democrat side. You got to exercise common sense and what's in the best interest of the public. This is not about you. It's about us. Don't forget that. We elected you. So you are responsible to us. We elected you. We gave you the job. Now work for us or get the hell out of there. November 6, 2018. November 6, 2018. November 6, 2018 is a day that we all need to exercise our right to vote, go out in mass numbers. This is a midterm election. I'm looking for some paperwork that I received. I received a survey from the Democratic Party on yesterday, and I'm sure millions of people around the country are receiving that same survey, and they want to know what's important to me as a U.S. citizen, as a Democrat. Yes, I'm a certified Democrat. Always been, may always be for the rest of my life, unless, now, I'm willing to entertain the idea of another party if you're doing it right. Why am I a Democrat? Because they're doing it closer to doing it right than any other party out there. That's why. Mm-hmm. They represent my concerns more than the Republicans or any of the weak-ass independent parties out there. The independent parties are really confused. Those guys are so twisted and upside down and unfocused. It's a shame. That could be the solution to the problem. But they're so weird, and I think most of them came up during the time that I came up, but they smoked one joint too many. One acid tab too many. A little too much ecstasy or whatever y'all were doing, you must be still doing it because you're whack. You're just there, way out there by yourself.
Now, see, those are the guys and gals who didn't pass to you.
No, they didn't even come close.
Right.
But listen, here's the bottom line. We got to hold our elected officials accountable. If they don't do what you want them to do, if they're not passing bills or voting on bills that are important to you, if they're not bringing home the bacon to your local community, if they're not helping create jobs, if they're not rebuilding or supporting rebuilding the infrastructure in America, if they're not about clean air, clean water, foreign policies, tax reform, voter protection, if your congressional member is not about that in your eye, now I may be talking to some Republicans, and I say the same thing to you. If they're not in line with what you think is important to you, then you shouldn't vote for them. I don't care what party they're in. These people are supposed to represent our concerns. That's the way the system is set up. That's how our Constitution is designed. That's what it's based on. They are accountable to us, the voters. I hear people talking about, term limits. And there's only one thing that's come out of Mitch McConnell's mouth that I've ever heard. He said, and I agree, but we have to use this to our advantage. We have term limits. It's called voting. And I say to all the people in the great state of Kentucky to vote this punk out, because he's not serving your best interest. If you're living in a shotgun house with a blue tarp on it, if you're living below the poverty line in Kentucky, then you should not be voting for Mitch McConnell. Because what has he done for you? He complains about industry and taxes too high and all this crap, but what has he done for the people below the poverty line in the state of Kentucky? And there's a lot of them. And they don't look like me. There's a lot of poor white people in the state of Kentucky. Need dental care, health care, housing, jobs. What has Mitch done for you ever? I'm not going to say just lately, but ever. And this little turtle head looking sucker keeps getting voted back in. What are you guys thinking about? Really? See, this is where I say the Democrats are weak.
Yeah, I agree.
They continue to let guys like Mitch McConnell continue to hold his seat. You're telling me there's nobody in the state of Kentucky that can take this clown out? Why not? Because your focus isn't on the real issues. You need to appeal to all the people in the state of Kentucky. And maybe you can't get a person of color or a minority to beat him. Get in a sensible white man or woman that's true on the issues, that's committed to helping the people in the state of Kentucky. That's how you beat him. Straight up. Toe-to-toe, knock him out. All that rhetoric he's talking and all the money he's taking from the special interest groups, make that a point. Mitch McConnell has taken X number of millions and millions of dollars in all the years that he's been there, and that's how he's staying in office. But what is he doing for you? I don't care how much money the insurance companies and the pharmaceuticals and the automotive or whoever, the coal industry, aligning his pockets and his bank accounts. It's got to end. And it starts with you, the voters in the state of Kentucky. That's how you change. So use that term limit stick and hit him upside the head.
And I definitely concur. It's just unfortunately, these people, no matter who you are, Kentucky or beyond, you have to get involved. And you just can't rest on your laurels and let life just pass you by. You have to get involved. You have to do your research. You have to ask questions. You have to get involved. If you don't, these things happen because strength is in numbers.
That's right.
And we should at least try. Like I said before about yesterday, my mom always says, nothing beats a failure but a try.
That's right.
So at least try it and see what happens. So when we're looking at people who constantly complain about say when President Barack Obama was in office and everything else. Okay, what are you doing to so-called prove your point? What have you done to talk to certain officials or not vote for them or him or her or do your research? Because once again, it takes discipline to go online to get credible resources, to find out what is gauging as far as where can we put our power as voters into these elections, and get involved, become an election judge. Once again, ask questions, because a lot of us get to a point where no matter how old we get, we shouldn't learn anything. We got to the high, great exalted mountaintop, and we're old and we know and we're sage. No, you keep on learning. You keep on evolving. You ask questions. You constantly become a better version than where you were yesterday. So if you're constantly staying in one rut and not getting involved, you have no right, and I repeat, no right to bitch and moan because you never got involved in the process.
That's right. Plain and simple. So people, make a commitment to yourself. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Get involved. Register to vote. Major election is coming up in November of 2018. You might say, well, man, that's too far away. I can't even focus in on that. You better. You need to. If you don't,
it'll
shame
be here
on
before
you.
You know it.
That's right. There's elections going on right now in different parts of the country, like up there in Minnesota and down in Georgia, right? And there's an election down there. Well,
yeah,
have they had that?
The Montana one that we just talked about now, right?
Right. So get involved now. Don't wait till 2 weeks before. Don't wake up, come out of a coma right before the election. Because, see, those are the people that influenced this last election. You were sitting around in a coma, your thumb in your ear or somewhere, not paying attention, and then you heard tidbits, sound bites from Trump and these other Republicans that sounded good. Okay? They were feeding you poison pills, and now you're feeling the results of drinking this poison Kool-Aid and these pills they were feeding you. All lies. What has this guy done? He's 130 days or so into his presidency, and he doesn't even have his cabinet fulfilled yet. What is it going to take, 2 years? You know why? A lot of people don't want to work for him. Number two, the pool is not very deep with smart Republicans.
True.
And has he put one Democrat in his office, in his administration?
Not that I know of.
Not one. And a lot of people complain about Obama having some Republicans in his administration. Well, guess what, folks? I don't think it was a bad idea. If that Republican is on point and true to working for the people, because half of this country is probably Republican at some time or another. Some of them are flippers, and the same thing with Democrats. They flip. So you can't just say one ideology is all we need. I think we need input from all backgrounds, all aspects of our political landscape.
Right.
To be balanced. How do you appeal and be sensitive to my issues and somebody else that disagrees with my issues? There's got to be a happy medium in there. There are a lot of Republicans that are on Obamacare. I don't know what percentage, but I'm sure there are some Republicans realizing and getting the benefits of being on Obamacare. So, at the end of the day, it's about what your needs are, not so much which party came up with the idea, the law, the rules, the amendments, okay? It's about how does it help me? How does this, whatever this party is doing, how does it benefit me? If Donald Trump can lower the taxes for all people, not just the rich, but if you want to cut my taxes too, without this is key, listen to me carefully, without impacting on our economy, the growth of this country, and the ability to pay the country's bills, if we can reduce the taxes and still function as a country without any problems, then it's a good idea. But considering all that we need to do, is this the appropriate time to reduce the taxes dramatically and still function as a nation? What is the long-term effect of tax reductions? 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I mean, I know how to balance my checkbook. I know that if I don't put money into it and I constantly take money out of it, then guess what? I'm going to be broke and lonely. Eventually, whatever amount of money you have in your bank account today, if you don't continuously put money into it and you keep writing checks or using your debit card and paying off your bills by whatever means you use, whether it's writing checks or debit cards or bank transfer, whatever, it's all the same. Eventually, you're going to run out of money. Does that make sense? I mean, am I speaking French here?
No, it makes sense. But once again, will people listen to the message? And like I said before, even if, just do it for yourself. But how much do you want to take care of yourself? How much do you love yourself to get yourself into a position of what's going on in life?
Right.
What's going on in America? What's going on as far as you making that step to make sure that there has to be some sort of ideology of what's going to happen when you move forward.
Right.
You know.
So here's the thing. I'm trying to break it down to a level that everyone can understand. Whether you have a degree as a PhD, you got 26 master's degrees, or you have no degree. What I'm trying to get people to understand is this basic, simple stuff that anybody can consume and use to your own advantage. Plain and simple. My disclaimer is, yes, I'm a Democrat, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Because the message that I'm trying to convey today, it makes sense to Republicans as well. It's about what is in your best interest. What do you need your congressional member to do to help you and your family, your block, your neighborhood, your county, your city, your state, your country? It starts with you. You, your family, your block, your neighborhood, your city or county, then city, then your state, then your country. It's simple. It starts with us as individuals. If your congressional member, if your president is not representing you and helping you fulfill your needs, not creating opportunities in your local area, guess what? They're not working for you. And you put them there. You put them there. Not me. You put them there. So that's how we got to break this thing down and look at it from that perspective. And I hope I'm breaking it down in simple terms that you can consume. Because sometimes, you get these guys on these talking heads on radio and television and writing these articles in newspaper, and it's just a little too much to consume for many people.
That's true.
So bottom line, that's what it's all about. So get involved. Send $5 to your candidate. Send $10, whatever you can afford to do. If you can't afford to make a financial donation, that's okay. Go volunteer. Go answer some phones. Go knock on some doors. Go pass out some flyers. Encourage people to register to vote. Everyone in this country can do something. Even if you're in a wheelchair, you can get out and roll around and encourage people to exercise their right and register to vote. You can do that. Think about it. You getting out, you're rolling around in your wheelchair. You can help. You can play a role in getting people involved, activated.
That's right. Absolutely.
Even if you're sick and in a bed, you can use a telephone. You can make phone calls. So everybody that is conscious, able to talk, able to walk, roll around in a wheelchair, walk with a walker. I saw ladies and men in campaign headquarters in Nevada and in the state of California, because I campaign in both states, with walkers, walking canes, wheelchairs, doing something. So stop the excuses, figure out a way, and make a contribution financially or your time as a volunteer. And they're paid positions too in these campaigns, by the way. You might be able to get on the payroll. So there's all kinds of opportunities out there. Infrastructure. How important is the infrastructure to you? What about the street right in front of your house or your apartment? Is it all jacked up with potholes and all cracked up and you roll over and messing up your tires and your front end alignment? That's part of our infrastructure. What is your city doing? What about your alderman or city council member? Do you even know who that person is? Have you contacted them? Have you ever been to a meeting at City Hall? That's how you bring about change. If you don't have a bus route in your neighborhood and you'd like to have one, contact the transit system. Say, hey, yo, I'm over here. I need a bus. Maybe they can work out a route to come into your neighborhood. But if you don't ask, guess what? You probably won't get it. If there's a big enough need, they will make a change and bring a bus into your neighborhood. How's your water? Are your electric bills too high? Do you have lousy cable service? If you live in Flint, Michigan, I know you got some nasty-ass water. Don't drink it. Don't do it. See, these are the things that impact us as individuals. So you can bring about some change. You can make things change if you jump up and down and say, I don't like this. This is not fair. This is not good for the people in my city, my household. Do you know there are people still living in houses that have lead paint? There's still facilities that have asbestos in it. A lot of it is painted over or covered some kind of way, but it's still there. And this is the stuff that will kill you. It will cause birth defects. There's no reason in 2017 that any of this stuff should be in our environment. There's no reason other than financial gain should we have discussion about oil pipelines running through our land, polluting our environment. And you've probably heard this before. It's not the matter of a pipe leak or break. It's the matter of when. It's going to happen. It has already happened. And it's going to happen again. And it could be a break in a very, very bad location, like near our waterways. Can you imagine an oil pipeline coming out of Canada, going down to the Gulf, that breaks near the Mississippi River or any other major river along the way, and that oil leaks into it, and the waterways run north to south in most cases? Okay? So if it breaks up in Minnesota or along the Mississippi, let's say. It gets into the Mississippi River. Guess what? It goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. They can't clean up 100% of an oil leak. Up there, what was it, Valdez? Down in the Gulf of Mexico? What was it, Exxon? There's still polluted water down there. They can't get rid of it 100%. They can throw soap in the water and it dissipates, but it goes somewhere else. Eventually, it's going to come back together, and it's going to be a bunch of oil again. So, folks, understand. Get in front of the problem, not after the fact. Because after the fact, you got a disaster. You got a major problem. Major problem. Now, Jackass 45 is now saying that, well, he wants an investigation into the leaks, basically in his own administration, that's leaking out information about what happened over in England at the concert. Well, you the top dog. You can't control the messaging in your own organization, or is it coming out of your rabbit ass mouth? Where's the problem really? Yeah, there should be an investigation. Let's look down your tonsil first. Let's look at you, because you've got loose lips. You say some real crazy stuff all the time. Not once in a while, all the time. Am I wrong? Chris, am I wrong?
No, you're not. Hey, Lee, I'm sorry. I got to take off. I got a family emergency I just got word of.
Okay. Well, take care of it. Handle it.
I'm going to handle it. So I'll be in touch, man, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Great. Okay, man.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
Blessings to you, and whatever the situation is, good luck with it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Lee.
Today is National Brother Day. So says the the chain letter that I got today. But you know what? I don't generally participate in those things. And one of my dear friends, T.C. Tompkins, said, man, I can't believe you fell for this bovine. But you know what? It caught me. I was still laying in bed this morning. And I reached over and grabbed my intelligent phone. It's not just smart. It is very intelligent. And it just hit me, because I'm all about, love, spreading the love and being lovable and helping people with love. And I said, okay, I'm going to go along with this. I'm going to send it out to 12 other brothers. And I did. And I probably sent it to about 20. I just went down the list and said, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy. And I hit a bunch of people up. And that's what it's all about, man. It's really, we don't show enough love. We don't show enough respect. We don't show enough camaraderie. We don't look out for each other. And we got to do a better job at that. So I sent you this chain letter, basically what it was. But the idea, the heartfelt idea, and I think if someone sends you something like that, even if you don't participate and respond to what the chain letter says, at least it's a message there that says, this person thought about me. And I think that's why I did it. So I hope I didn't offend any of my brothers out there, but it was all about the love that I felt at that moment. And I still feel that way. It wasn't just a moment at 6:00 in the morning. It was truly, we need to express, show, and support others. And I'm not just talking about your blood brothers, because I don't have a brother. I had a half brother, but he's been dead for 40 years. I never even met him. Maybe longer than that. But the reality is this. We need to show some love to each other. We need to first start with loving yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love me or anybody else? You have to show some love and have love for yourself, respect, and the desire to be a good human being. Think about that. Let that marinate for a second. Why do we have people performing terrorist acts? They obviously don't love themselves. Anybody that's willing to strap bombs to their bodies, walk into a crowded area, and explode this thing, they don't love themselves. They don't. It's impossible for them to have love, self-love, when you're willing to kill yourself and other people. Does that make sense? Does that rhyme make sense? I mean, really. I love me some me. Not to the extent of being obsessed, a little weird, none of that. But I love and respect myself. That will prevent me from doing harm to you unless you're trying to harm me. I'm going to defend myself. Does that make sense? So to all of those people who are being radicalized, as the term goes, love yourself, man. Love your family members. How do you think your family members feel when you walk into a place with a bomb strapped to you, packed with ball bearings and nails and nuts and bolts and whatever you're using to cause destruction to property, killing people, children, women, men, young, old? You are one sick, twisted puppy. You need help. And I say this all the time. Family members, you know you have some dysfunctional family members. You know Uncle Jabbo is nutso. So you need to get in front of that situation and not allow them to get to the point where they're willing to harm themselves and other people. So get on board, be active, get in front of the situation before it's too late. Let me welcome one of our great contributors to the show, Alfo. How you doing, brother?
Well, good morning on your end, and how you doing, Carol, if you're there?
Carol's not here today. She's MIA. She's out on assignment. I'm not sure what the assignment is, but
I don't see Chris. I don't see Chris either.
Chris just left the room. He had a family emergency, he said, and he had to leave.
Oh, okay, because I was beginning to think you're a contagion.
Well, I might be, but
Lee, I don't disagree with the concept of loving yourself before you can love others.
mm-hmm.
What I do disagree with is the fact that you have such injustice. You have so many atrocities. When you talk about radicalizing, remember, the statistic shows that the majority of our terrorists are homegrown. Are homegrown.
Right.
Now, what we are witnessing is a frustration, had it up to here moment,
Right.
and unable to do anything about it because of the political situation and the dire picture I've been painting for the last 3 days or so about the stranglehold Republicans have on this right now.
Right.
And your never-ending hope that it will turn around. This is how you are radicalized. When you feel that there are no more avenues to go down.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like there are no more avenues to go down, and you just have no way else, no other way out, or no other way to express your displeasure with what's going on. People of misguided faith in a religion, in a whatever, give it a name. You can be radicalized in a belief that a metaphysical being is responsible for taking care of everything. And that's what you basically have. When you have people willing to die because they have been so radicalized mentally about a metaphysical being that's like somebody you can't see.
Right.
You cannot expect there's the same kind of reasoning going on in their mind. Because if you're going in the case of Islam, if you're going to kneel on a rug, 5 times a day and pray, or is it
Right.
7? I'm not sure. You have a full commitment to that religion, just like Christianity. Those folks get up every Sunday, some of them 5, 6, 7 days a week, and they make this pilgrimage to this church. And all around this church is poverty, suffering. And you walk in that church and you see, Pastor, I got 5 rings on every finger. And I'm driving the sportiest. I'm driving the most eloquent. I'm driving the Rolls Royce. And oh, by the way, put a little more money in the till so I can buy me a jet. I need a jet. The Lord says I should be prosperous.
Yeah.
So what you are witnessing is an indoctrination of the mind. The indoctrination of the mind. People have been gaslighted, okay?
Yep.
And, you know, Lee, for someone to pack themselves up and run in and blow themselves up in a crowd is simply saying, you that are dying with me, you should ask somebody, like it's their fault.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not misguided. It's misguided as hell. And if there's truly a God, when they get up to the pearly gates, it says access denied. And they got this trap door that leads them straight down there where all of the evil has originated. So, you know, we reap what we sow. We are who we are. And when you see situations like that, all you can do is shake your head because somebody's been misled. Somebody's been lied to. Hook, line, and sinker. That's how far and how deep they've fallen.
Right. Let me ask you about this headline that's all over the news right now as relates to the alleged leak on recent foreign intelligence leak by U.S. officials. Trump says he wants to get to the bottom of these leaks. Well, it's coming out of your administration, dog.
Well,
you know,
who's the biggest leaker? His White House is leaking like a sieve.
Exactly.
What
does that say?
Like a sieve.
Right. What does that say? That says there are people in your administration that don't agree with what he's doing. And they're leaking information out because there's a problem.
Right.
So, you know, getting the Justice Department to look into it. Now, that's like
me protecting the cheeseburgers.
Exactly. Put the wolf in the chicken coop.
Exactly.
You got Sessions, who it is being said that he also leaked information and was collaborating with the Russian officials. So how in the hell are we going to trust the Justice Department from a guy who has already shown that he's not loyal to this country?
And
he's sleeping with the enemy.
And you got a president who won't take, he's a nasty, stinking, dead corpse, but you still want him in Michael Flynn.
Exactly.
If you and the American people, the real Americans, don't understand the implication, if you loved Russia anyway, in secret, undercover, or you simply hated black man more than you love America, then Russia's your boy. Russia's your people. You feel like America has let you down by not by electing this Negro into the White House. So America's no good anymore. You see, Lee, and the only people who can think that are the Confederate sympathizers. They've held on to this grudge, this torch, for over 150 years or over 100 and whatever. And now they've risen to the top. Did you see the mayor of Louisiana? Did you see his speech?
No, I missed that.
Oh, Lee, you gotta some way, find, clip out a piece of your life and listen to this speech. Because what he drew upon was absolutely a 100% factual. And he drew upon it, and people won't agree with him because it calls them out for exactly who they are. I put it on my on my wall, and matter of fact, I'm about to send it to you, Lee.
Yeah,
send that to me. Send it to you.
Here's some breaking news. Appeals court upholds nationwide ban against Trump's travel ban. Another black eye. Another knockdown.
Those so-called judges, they're just
picking on him, huh?
He's such a victim. He's such a victim.
Yeah. No, he doesn't understand the Constitution. And the clowns, the legal minds around him, obviously are as dumb as he is. Listen.
No, they're just afraid of him.
I have to go back to common sense again. See, common sense rules in my world. Common sense tells me that if I'm stupid, if I don't really understand government, if I don't understand the Constitution, I'm going to go get me some scholars, some people that really get it, that live, sleep, and die by the words of the Constitution. And I'm going to have constant meetings with these people to get input from them in terms of what I can and cannot do. And I'm not going to do anything until I get enough reasoning and input from these people that know more about it than me.
Then you're not really president. You're just a pair of shoes that's holding on to the position. It's one thing to be knowledgeable. It's one thing to be on top of it, and it's another thing to simply surround yourself with people that do know, and you simply take everyone's advice. You can fool the people for a little while, but eventually you're gonna be undressed.
Well, of course, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Trump don't know. That's what he doesn't realize.
Well, because he's been getting away with it for all these years in his own business world. But this is a different game now. You can sit there and lie to yourself. You can have a meeting with your board of directors and pull the wool over their eyes and use smoke and mirrors in the corporate world, because that's what these thieves, these criminals do every day. And he's bringing that same mindset into our government And guess what? He's getting away with it. Just yesterday, he got another patent cleared in China for clothes. How in the hell does that benefit me or you or anybody in America? It benefits him, his family, his cronies. He's spending too much time on doing that bullshit than taking care of business for the United States of America. I guarantee you, every country he's going to right now, he's cutting some deals because he's got all of these crooked-ass family members with him that's sitting down with officials in these different foreign countries cutting fucking business deals. I'm not stupid. In America, you need to wake up.
But he was no part of it. I had nothing to do with that. But they were on the plane with you when they went over there with you. Exactly.
Who's paying for their flights over there? They're flying on my damn plane. I own Air Force One. You own it. We all have a piece of that plane because we paid tax dollars to buy it and to maintain it. And I'm not happy with the passengers you've got on my plane. Y'all get it?
You want his response to that?
Yeah, he's going to shoot me the bird.
No, his response is, I don't want to talk about it.
I do, and I'm going to keep talking about it.
Have you ever heard of a president, when confronted with a legitimate question,
say, they run for
I don't
the
want
hills.
to talk about it.
Right. That's an inappropriate question, and body slam the reporter.
Oh, please, don't bring that up, please.
Well, I opened the show up with that one.
Well, my microphone, trying to get my microphone going. It's been an ordeal. It's been get your damn phones fixed here.
Well, just set all the settings for default, so when you plug it in, it recognizes it.
I did. I did that, Lee. You know what came up this time?
What?
The screen that I'm looking at now did not come up, and it would not come up.
You're doing something.
I must have restarted. Not only did I restart my computer, as it was taking so long to restart, I turned it off and turned it back on just to get the sound coming from my computer again. But that's a whole nother half-hour conversation for a different time.
Okay.
But I finally got it going, but it's a real ordeal. But Lee, when this man begins to, I would say, as he destroys the country, because his budget is a joke.
You know, I'm just sitting here scanning through some of the news headlines, and something just hit me in the heart. And they showed the faces of some of the victims from the blast over at the concert. That really brings it home when you see innocent, young, good-looking people, human beings. It's not about race. It's not about gender, your sexual preferences or anything. It's human life that's been lost to some sick, crazy, demented person that's willing to strap a nail bomb. And one of the headlines saying one of the people that was there said they saw feet flying in the air. That's sick, man.
Well, it's sick, but the perpetrators of this action, what would you like to do to them? Enough said. You have to love yourself first. So, willing, wishing, hoping upon their misfortune, death, or whatever, you have to ask yourself the same question. Because just turn it around, and this is why they do it. They have no other recourse. They can redress no more. if what's good for the goose is good for the gander, killing, period, it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all, that's all I want. I got to tell you, you know how I am. I don't give two shits to the wind. Love myself, yes I do. But do I want to kill them? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because they're frauds. Just like here in this country, we have a gigantic population of hypocrites and frauds. They're called evangelical Christians.
Yep.
Right to lifers.
What is the difference between these radicals that have hijacked the Muslim race and the radicals that have hijacked Christianity? What's the difference?
Well, you hear them say, we're the good Muslims, and we're the moderate Muslims that to stand up against ISIS. Where were the good Christians that to stand up against the Klan? It's the same. What's the difference? It's the same damn thing. Where are the good Christians at? And why is there no outcry about this? You see, to me, it makes a great deal of sense to not simply look at one side, look at it one-sided. You have to look at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like this. I look at both ends, and I simply figure out who's against me or who's with me. And right now, and that's why ever since you've known me, I've always felt Republicans are against me.
Well, I feel the same way.
Even though Democrats aren't fully on my side, they're closer to me and what I believe and my values than a Republican any day.
Well, I said the same thing near the top of the show, and it's interesting that you're echoing almost word for word what I said earlier during the show. And I said it's a real opportunity for a third party to come in and do it right and capture, the people who are feeling, not so committed to either party. But I also said those third parties, these so-called independent parties and what have you, these guys are so twisted in their thinking, and they're either so far right, so far left, or not even on the Richter scale. And I think most of them had one joint too many, or dropped one tablet of acid or speed or ecstasy or something, because they're whack. They're not even close to reality. So until we can come up with a third party that represents the mindset of the majority of the people in this country, as opposed to being extreme left or extreme right, then business is as usual. But I agree with you. The Democratic Party seems to represent me closer than the Republican Party, because the Republican Party I have never I'm going to call myself, I'll be 67 years old on Sunday. Not ever have I gotten a piece of literature from the Republicans saying, hey, Mr. Michaels, we would like to have input from you and hear your concerns about the Republican Party, or what are your beliefs and where do you want to see this country go? Never. I get it from the Democrats. Yes, maybe because I'm a registered Democrat. But if you are only going to pander to the people that believe in your ideology only, then that's where you're going to die. You're going to live and die in that limited circle. So until the Republican Party thinks like me, looks more like me, act like me, concerned like me, then I'm not down with you. Period. And I've had many discussions with a handful of black Republicans, and I just don't understand anything that they're saying. It just doesn't make sense. But these are people who have been brainwashed and thinking that, well, I don't look at it from black and white. The Republican Party is conservative. I'm conservative, and they're for me. Well, they're not. You can't even get a damn job in the Republican Party. So until you shape up and change your mindset, I'm not down with you. Forget about it. I see here that Joe Lieberman has pulled his name from consideration for being the FBI director. Well, maybe he
should.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't excited about the possibility anyway.
But neither was I. But he's partners at the law firm of Trump's personal counsel now.
Right.
So
either way, he's in the house.
The conflict of interest is, blinding.
Right. Oh, when did they get concerned about conflict of interest? What? Are you serious? How many conflicts of interest do we have in this current administration? It should be the party of conflict. Everything this guy's doing is a conflict. Everything. There should be an investigation on him alone for a conflict of interest and his family members.
Well, what is it? The emoluments clause?
Yeah.
They just say to hell with that. Nobody's looking to enforce it. No one's looking to do a damn thing because this man rakes in millions. Millions for his properties. Millions for his businesses.
Well, it'll turn in, if it's millions or hundreds of millions, it'll turn into billions. He will eventually be a legitimate billionaire because I still don't know how much the guy's really worth. I mean, I can look like I'm worth $1 billion on paper. I can put together some spreadsheets and some fraudulent numbers to make me look like it. But are you really? Paul Ryan is saying this clown in Minnesota should apologize. No, he should be tried and arrested. A misdemeanor is not good enough.
Right. He was finally charged with assault, but misdemeanor.
Right. That's bullshit. I tell you what, Alfo, I want you to go out today in the city of Chicago and body slam a reporter because he's asking you a tough question and see what you get charged with. Go ahead. Go do it, man. Come on. Come on. This is a test. This is only a test. This station is conducting a test.
I would hope that you would turn that reporter into a 10-year-old schoolgirl coming from home. Then I may not get beat up, okay?
But, come on, man. Are you serious? You're gonna physically assault, body slam a reporter because you don't like his questions and you get charged with a misdemeanor? Really?
And then, the sheriff gave $200 for his campaign. So the sheriff should lose his job.
Yeah, well, the sheriff needs to be fired as well.
Exactly.
Please.
And that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. Who's got your back?
How shameful.
And who don't? Yeah, how shameful. Who would have thunk it?
Well, if this guy gets elected, then Montana.
Oh, he's going to win. He's going to win. I tell you who's not going to win. And that's this Karen Handel down there in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's not so much that he is everybody's preference. She is just so bad. People remember what she did going to Planned Parenthood. And for all
that's
of
a
those, Republican?
Yeah,
her name is Karen Handel.
Oh, yeah, I remember her name now.
She is just, She's on that conservative Ari Fleischer, W. Bush bandwagon.
Well, see, here's the thing, man. You just painted a very grim picture for the possibility of her winning, but didn't we paint that same picture on Trump? And then look at what we got? So I'm going to err on the side of don't think that she can't win. Do whatever you have to do to make sure she does not win.
Well, we didn't do anything to make sure Trump won. What they did was stole it.
Well, I understand
They suppressed our vote.
Right.
And then this Russian interference and their collusion with Russia.
Sure.
See,
so we got to make sure,
anything.
Moving forward, though, we have to look under the rug, dig up some holes in the backyard, we'll put up more surveillance cameras, and make sure that we understand the full landscape of what we're dealing with. Obviously, the Democrats were sleeping at the wheel. So I got to put some blame on them.
How are you going to sleep if they're cheating and you don't know anything about it?
Well, that's my point. How can you not know? How can all of this catastrophic impact go on without you knowing that it's happening? That means you were sleeping at the wheel.
No, it doesn't, Lee. What it means is that the Republicans fashioned a way to communicate with the Republican Secretary of States to purge people from the voting rolls using this cross-check list, which, if challenged in any court, would have been thrown out, they would have been unable to use it.
Well, that's my point. How could they start purging?
Because nobody knew anything about it.
But that's my point. You got to know. You can't err on the side, well, I didn't know. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. But here's the thing. We've got to know. There's somebody in the Secretary of State's office in all of those states in question that had to know this was going on, and obviously none of that information was leaked out to the Democrats to let us know that what the hell's going on here. What are they about to do? So we sat back. We're not paying attention. You got to have intelligence everywhere if you're going to win. And that's how you get in front of the problem as opposed to saying, damn, look at what they did. Oh, my God, it's too late then. It's too late.
Well, then
and you can't go to the Supreme Court now and try to get anything overturned
you
because
you can't go
to
the
nowhere.
Department of Justice. You can't go
anywhere.
Department of Justice.
Right.
There's no place to go.
Exactly. That's my point. Because it's after the fact.
There's no place to go.
We've got to get in front of the issues. When you see things going, wait a minute, what's going on at the Secretary of State's office in Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio,
they were
Pennsylvania?
being run by Republican Secretary of State.
I understand that.
They're not required to share that information with the Democratic National Party there. They're not required to tell you who they're purging from the voting rolls. Purging from the voting rolls has been happening for the longest.
Are they required to notify the people that they've been purged?
No.
So when they go to the polls, they get
they get a
stiff hand and say, you can't vote. Go home, mofo.
Exactly. And that's what makes it more and more illegal. That's what makes it election fraud. Not voter fraud, election fraud.
Right.
The secretaries of states with this, and as the investigative reporter Greg Plass tells it, there were 7 million names cross-checked on these rolls.
Right.
They ended
That's
up purging
major.
They ended up purging 1.1 million.
Again,
you know why?
We got to get in front of it, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer to it, but we got to get in front of these acts.
Well, let me tell you why they only purged 1.1 million.
That's all they needed.
No, because those were the minorities.
Right. Right.
Everybody else who was double registered was white, and they
looked the other way.
Exactly. That's what makes it most illegal. And the mere fact that they have the same name, but they might have a different middle name. They even had different Social Security numbers. And the whining and the suspicion of they were voting twice. No one was ever, if they're voting twice, it's a felony. Prosecute them. No one has ever been prosecuted using the cross-check list. So how can you use it to purge voters?
See, these are the kind of things that the average person needs to be aware of, number one. Number two, we need to get people in Congress and on the state level that will stand up against these type of heinous moves that these Secretary of States are allowed to get away with. So if you're a state senator or a member of the House in the state, you guys need to wake up and say, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Secretary or Mrs. Secretary of State, you can't do that. We're not going to let you do that.
And Lee, tell me something.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something. With all of the celebrities making all the money, why aren't they vested in the uplifting of their own people?
Why are there celebrities?
They're not. Huh?
You said why are they? Why are there celebrities?
Why are they not? Why, with all the celebrities, with all their money, why are they not vested in the uplifting of their people?
Well, I think some are.
Some are.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not enough. It's not enough to effectively make a stance against the war that we're in. And make no mistake about it, we are in a war.
I agree with you.
If they have obstructed and made it tougher for you to get an ID to vote, there should be, I would say, a battle cry to register. In all of these states, there should be a movement to access the voting rolls and who's been purged and why they've been purged, and court challenges for those, I would call them minor reasons. See, the Secretary of State will purge you. They don't have to tell you, so you don't know until it's too late.
Well, that right there should not be allowed. It shouldn't be legal for them to have that kind of power and control over someone's right, keyword, right to vote. They have to be held accountable as well. So on the state level, those rules or laws need to be changed. That's how you guard against that.
Those purgings need to be investigated for legality. And if found to be illegal, there should be a prosecution.
Absolutely. Is there an investigation on this?
No.
Why not?
Because the alert hasn't been sounded by those who have been purged. You got a lot of them still don't know they had been purged. All they knew is they had to vote
provisional ballot.
Provisional ballot. and they don't know whether or not it was counted or not.
Exactly.
And yet you got a group of people called Republicans who were standing in the way of voter I would call it the Voting Rights Act.
Right.
But I would call it voter clarity, voter legitimacy. You have to be able to validate every voter, and every voter needs to be informed of his status. And you can't do that with individuals. That's why they want everything at the state. They got to go back to the states because they know it's tougher for the federal government to keep up with states by state by state. That's why the GI Bill went to the states, because they knew that the southern states and any state controlled by Klansmen could deny African Americans and Hispanics, Asians, any minority, their rights, and the federal government would be none the wiser.
Yeah, that's criminal. I mean, these are the kind of things that are upsetting.
No,
they don't make sense.
These are the kind of things that will radicalize.
Well, yeah, that's a ripple effect from it. I mean, and what you might see, people in this country getting so upset that it may be even more people doing heinous acts in this country. So to prevent that from happening, let's make sure that everything is square. Everything makes sense. That there's protections put in. But see, the problem in my lifetime, there's been so much deregulations implemented that now, and I was talking to a dear friend of mine, Zamir Jones, this morning, and he and I have had discussions about how many things have been deregulated in various industries, including the broadcast industry, because we're both broadcasters, so it's near and dear to our hearts. But as time goes on and more things are deregulated, it just means that private industry can run amok without any checks and balances from state or federal governments or by the people, because the people are never informed. And this goes back to what we're talking about. The people who were purged in the latest election didn't know they were purged. They had to, if they were allowed to vote at all, it was a provisional ballot, but there's no guarantee that your ballot was counted. So there's no checks and balances. There's no verification that my vote was counted. And I had to vote. I had to vote provisionally, because for the second time since I've been in California, they keep sending me a mail ballot, and I contact them and say, I don't want to vote by mail. Damn it. How many times do I have to tell you, I want to go to the poll and vote right there at the poll? And they keep keeping me on the mail list. I don't want that. So when I went there, I didn't have the ballot with me, because I was told prior to the last election that, okay, you can go to the poll. I didn't bring the ballot that was mailed to me, and that's the only way that you can go in and turn in that ballot and vote on a regular ballot.
You see?
So I was lied to.
Yes.
By the Secretary of State's office.
Yes.
So I did get a confirmation after the election that my vote was counted. Now, I have to trust that document they sent to me in the mail that my vote was in fact counted. But do I really know? I don't know. But we never know, even if you go to the ballot. I'm just more comfortable with going to the box, standing there, making my selections, and then I go over and take that paper and put it in the damn machine. At least I know that part was done. Now, after it goes into the machine and goes to wherever else it goes from there, I don't know. None of us know. But at least I know that much. Now, if I vote by mail, I stick it in the mail. First of all, I don't know if it got to the Secretary of State's office. Did something happen? Some shenanigans happen at the post office? I don't know. So at least to the point where I can put my ballot into that computer, that scanner, at least I know that was done. And it gives me a sheet back that says, boom, we counted your vote. Your vote was fine. And I get my little sticker and I put that on my chest and I walk out. That's what I know. Now, whether or not that machine's votes were counted, I don't know. And we will never know that, probably.
Well,
and as time goes on, as technology evolves, maybe one day the process of voting will completely or radically change. Maybe it'll be more accurate. or maybe it won't. We won't know until we get down that road. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Well, here's one thing you do that we don't know, but we should know. The executive orders that Trump is pushing out.
Right.
The cuts to the all of the government agencies.
Right.
They're like laws, and let me tell you why. Because for a president to come in behind him and try to reinstitute excuse me, these very same laws that were executive ordered out, they will A, be challenged in court. B, the argument of how are we going to pay for it comes up. And it's like the Affordable Care Act. Once it's a law, it's tough to get it off the books. And once it's not on the books anymore, it's tougher to get it back on the books.
Well, listen, let's say that the next president comes in and wants to get rid of some of these executive orders. And he or she goes in and lobby Congress and get Congress to turn it into law versus an executive order. Wouldn't that be a better thing to do than just the stroke of your pen because you have the power to change something temporarily?
Well,
because every executive order is basically a temporary rule or law.
Here's the flaw in what you just said. He gets Congress too. Congress ain't doing a damn thing. You can't get Congress to do a damn thing. Why? Because we might, if we control the House, whoever the head of the Senate is, if Democrats control it, will allow them to filibuster, like Harry Reid. Right now, all Republicans have to do is agree upon a health care bill that could get back through the House. They don't fear a filibuster. You know why? Because they're going to nuke it. They will nuke every filibuster that the Democrats offer up. See, when they were filibustering, we were honoring their filibuster because Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell were such buddy-buddy. Harry Reid was nothing more than a Trojan horse, a Mormon Trojan horse. That's all Harry Reid was.
Alpha, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You don't like Harry Reid, do you?
I can't stand Harry Reid. You say I don't like him? I mean, to me,
you don't like nothing about him.
To me, it was so obviously. To me, it was so obvious what he needed to do.
Right.
And if it was obvious to me, I'm sitting here in Chicago. Why wasn't it obvious to that dark-colored guy who was sitting in the White House? I mean, he's a constitutional scholar, the whole 9 yards. So why didn't it, dawn on him?
Right. Well, Monday, we're going to have Money Monday. Michella's going to come in. But I want to start talking to, focus on solutions. We identify problems all the time here on the Lee Michaels Show and all the shows you listen to. We identify the problems, but we don't come up with enough solutions. I try to offer solutions. I try to offer solutions in the first part of the show to tell people to become active, become activists, to go out and vote, register to vote, get people to register to vote, make sure they go out and vote. The midterm election on November 6, 2018 is an important date. We can turn this thing around, begin to turn this thing around on that day. You can volunteer. Even if you can't get out of your bed, you can make phone calls. If you're having trouble walking, you walk with a walker, or you're in a wheelchair, you can volunteer and do things. You can go to a campaign headquarters and make phone calls, or you can pass out literature on the streets. There's something that everyone can do. Whether you're sick and shut in, or you're active, if you have money that you can make a financial donation, there's different things that we all can do and be a part of and come up with solutions. Don't just sit around and bitch and bellyache about the problems, but we need to be solution-oriented. We need to identify qualified, clean politicians or wannabe politicians, get them into office, hold their feet to the fire, that whatever they campaign on and we buy into, keep them accountable. Keep their feet in the fire. Make sure that they do what they said they're going to do. Now, I know it's impossible for every campaign promise to be fulfilled, but if we get enough people in Congress, the House and the Senate, on the federal level and the state level, that are like-minded, that are going there for the sole purpose of serving the people that voted them in, that, my friend, is a major step in the right direction to bring about change, to implement solutions that make sense, common sense. I think I might change the show name to Common Sense, because that's what it's all about. You don't have to be no freaking rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Let's apply common sense first. Once you get that in there, then you can get more detailed and more finite and sophisticated. But let's get the common sense in the house first. The basic things that make sense, the obvious. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with people in my Uber or Lyft driving. I can't tell you how many times I've been in public places and strike up a conversation with another person that is paying attention or not paying attention. And when you educate them and tell them what's really going on, they're looking at you like, damn, I never thought about that. I never heard it put that way. That's really the way it is? And I go, yes, that's the way it really is. Well, man, that's upsetting. Well, don't just get upset. Get involved. I like what President Obama is doing right now. He's recruiting young people for the future. Some of these are college students. They may be the next president of the United States. We don't know. It may be a House or Senate member. It may be the next governor somewhere. But this is where we have to start with the young people. Not my old ass. Ain't nothing I can do but teach you. Pass on what I've experienced. Point you in the right direction. Give you some encouragement. To tell you that it's going to be okay if you try, if you participate. If you don't, then status quo. Nothing's going to change. Live with it. I believe in the system. Yes, the system is not 100% correct all the time. There's some corruption in our system. Let's start there. Let's get rid of the corruption. Let's get the criminals out of politics. Let's get these self-serving narcissists, jackasses, morons, think we're stupid individuals out. And we need to start with this administration and work our way down. We know who they are. We know who the career politicians are. They're fat and happy. And nobody wants to run against them. Mitch McConnell. And there's some Democrats that need to go too, because y'all sleeping. I see you. I know who you are. And I'm going to start calling out some names too. It's time for you to be accountable and stop going along to get along. Stand up, get some backbone. Put some combat shoes on and start kicking some ass.
You mark my word. Cory Booker's going to come seeking.
Cory Booker is going to do what?
He's going to come looking and seeking somebody's support to become president or vice president. He wants his name in the ring.
Well, maybe he's the right guy. I don't know.
You
but
don't
somebody,
find him.
somebody needs to step up and do the right thing.
I find Cory Booker nauseating. Nauseating. You remember his nauseating?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say this. Maybe it's Cory Booker. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But we need to get a bunch of people who have the right mindset and is willing to go and serve and represent the people. Just think about it. If you could turn over a third of the House and the Senate in this next election with people who are saying, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. to represent the people. I'm going to go in there and fight for what's right, what is needed for the country. Whether it's, climate control, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's campaign reform, whether it's tax reform, whatever the major issues are that we see, we the people, we need to have people go in there and stand tall, push back on the status quo and say, no, that's not what the people sent me here to do. Not to sign on to the same old bullshit that you guys been serving up. I don't want this toxic meal that you've been serving everybody else. No, we need to change the diet, the mindset, the attitude, everything. Not in a radical form, but in a common sense, make sense type position that affects the people. How are you going to go to Washington, D.C.? This is the question that I would have for anybody that's running for Congress. What are you going to do to help the people that voted for you? Do you understand the concerns that they have? How in touch are you with the people that may be willing to vote for you? Are you going to go there and stand tall? Even if your vote does not win, at least you're on record of saying that's not what the people want. This is what it is. And if you get enough people in there with that mindset that are going there for that purpose, then you will see it change. It's not about term limits. We have term limits. It's called voting. Vote the status quo out. Get some new minds in there, some young people that'll go in there and fight. Say, no, I'm not going to take it no more. This is what the people sent me here to do. Now, the Republicans are feeling good about that because the people sent them there to go and implement some bullshit. And that's what they're doing. And you're telling me that the Republicans had damn near 8 years to come up with a good health care plan for the American people, and they still don't have one that makes sense? Every one of them need to be voted out because what the hell have y'all been doing for 8 years? That's what I want to know. You're telling me that you don't have the brains, the smarts, the intellect, the will to come up with something other than this bullshit that two plans you've put out there that don't make sense. You criticize what we had. There's over 20 million people on it. They're getting the benefits from it, and you can't come in and at least fix what we got.
Not only did they criticize it, they've sabotaged it. Of
course they did. They put the ticking time bomb in the documentation. Allowed the healthcare, the insurance industry to raise the rates whenever they wanted to. After the first 2 years, they said, okay, we got it. And then the second time bomb was, okay, this is not working for us. We're pulling out of this state. And we're pulling out of that state. We're out. Leaving people hanging. Those type of opportunities should have never been in the health care bill ever. But who put it in?
Well,
you tell them, Alfo.
Well, the Republicans, leveraged the insurance company. See, the Republicans didn't put it in because No Republican voted for it. The insurance companies put it in.
Well, yeah.
And this was the okay.
But they had to sign off on it. They had to vote. So they were happy with the documentation that the healthcare lobbyists put together, and they signed off on it. They said, okay, well, yeah, we'll go along with this.
Right. And instead of them, you see, and now look at where we're at. Once again, we're fighting on the wrong battlefield. We're fighting about cuts. We're fighting about austerity. We're fighting about all the wrong things except for a progressive agenda. It's almost that time, Lee.
Yep, the music is playing. And it's the same old song, folks. And if you don't know the lyrics by now, you ain't listening. You're dancing to the wrong song. It's time for America to wake up and understand that your politicians are not working in your best interest. And I said politicians, because that includes both parties. It's self-serving, cutting the deals in the back room, signing on pork to every bill, and these bills are thicker than a New York phone book. Do they still have phone books?
No. No.
They finally stopped killing trees and making phone books?
No, they haven't stopped killing trees, but no.
I can't tell you the last time I opened a phone book, man. I can't even tell you. 20 years, maybe more?
They come in my front porch, they go out my back door.
Come to the front porch and straight into the fireplace. All right, folks, thank you for being a part of the show. Alfo, thanks for stopping in. Always, you bring your A game and share knowledge with the listeners. I appreciate that.
Hey, you all have a great Memorial Day weekend, and save me a cheeseburger, will you?
No problem. Let's
Take
see,
care.
today is Thursday, so we'll be back on Monday live. We will have a replay show on tomorrow on thepowerofvoices.com. And thank you so much for being here. We love you. Have a great day. Have a safe weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend and my birthday on Sunday, so I'm going to... You know what I think I want to do? I think I want to go fishing. I have not been fishing in a long time. A birthday fishing party for Lee Michaels. I think that's what I want to do on Sunday. Get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Lord, again, I lied. You know damn well I'm not going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go fishing. But sometime on Sunday, I'll say that. Maybe. Or just sleep in. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you. I love you. We'll see you Monday morning live right here on The Power of Voices. 10 a.m. Pacific time, noon Midwest. It's 1 p.m. on the East Coast. Take care. God bless. Register to vote, damn it.